Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Let's go. Keep asking me these questions.
Okay. I do have one more in this vein.
Let me just tell you, what I do hear about it is they are very strongly against pedophilia. And I agree with that. I mean, I do agree with that, and I agree with it very strongly.
But there's not a satanic pedophile cult being run by.
I know nothing about that.
You don't know that? Okay.
No, I don't know that.
You just this week.
Neither do you know that.
Okay, just this.
I'll provide a summary to explain the Pizzagate movement's origin, outline which of its claims have been confirmed as verifiable facts, and offer my own conclusion at the end. As you likely know already, WikiLeaks published emails that were hacked from Hillary Clinton's private email server, along with a huge series of email dumps from her campaign chairman John Podesta's account. Podesta isn't just a Clinton campaign chairman, he's a long-time political operative rated as one of Washington's most influential people. Unsurprisingly, the majority of the contents from the emails associated with the two leaks were pretty mundane, but anons and web sleuths on Reddit, Steemit, 4chan and Vote, which are discussion board websites where people can post anonymously, found something strange buried within the email dumps. Nonsensical references to things like pizza and hot dogs. This kicked off a new style of research online, an open source investigation where people contribute data publicly to a forum and discuss, investigate and compile which information is pertinent in investigating the subject in question. Forget your assumptions you may have coming into this and just consider the following with an open mind so you're equipped to judge the data and information presented on its own merits. The work of Anons reflects a recognition that similar scandals have happened on both sides of the political aisle and are completely bipartisan.
A Kelly File exclusive tonight on the conspiracy theory that came to be known as Pizzagate.
Well, Pizzagate, it became a major story weeks ago when an armed man decided to investigate a D.C. area pizza place for himself. This man right here, he carried a rifle into a pizza parlor and then fired it at the floor. Media is telling you the entire story is a hoax or fake news. But what does that even mean? I spent the last month investigating. So what exactly is Pizzagate? And are there any actual facts to support this story? I've got to warn you, what we're going to talk about tonight will be disturbing to some people. But this is a reality check you won't see anywhere else. Pizzagate actually comes from the WikiLeaks release of hacked emails from Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta. In all, WikiLeaks dumped around 50,000 email messages, and it was from those emails that the claims that John Podesta may be part of a child sex trafficking ring come from. Now, to be clear, not one single email in the Podesta emails discusses child sex trafficking or pedophilia. That is a fact. But there are dozens of what seem to be strangely worded emails dealing with pizza and handkerchiefs. Self-described online investigators say that those words in the emails about pizza and the talk of handkerchiefs is code language used by pedophiles. So how did a DC pizza parlor get pulled into the story? Well, again, read any mainstream report and they indicate that Comet Ping Pong Pizza was somehow linked to this fake story and has no relation to anyone involved. But the truth is that's not true either. What media is ignoring is that the Comet Ping Pong Pizza place is actually referenced in the Podesta emails at least a dozen or so times, and that the owner of that place, James Alfantis, is a friend of John Podesta. He was actually named, this is kind of strange, by GQ magazine as one of the top 50 most powerful people in Washington. Yes, we're talking about a pizza parlor owner. Now let's talk facts here. There is no solid evidence that Comet Ping Pong Pizza is being used to run a child sex trafficking ring. But there are some very strange connections between Comet Ping Pong Pizza and a second pizza place 2 doors over, Besta Pizza, and the accusations of pedophilia. Now this is where things start to get strange when you research this story. Now to begin, I need to show you a 2007 unclassified FBI document. That document, according to the FBI, contains commonly used symbols by pedophiles to express their preference in children. I want you to see these images here. These are the images. Notice this one on the end, the triangle. That image signifies something called boy love. The pizza place next door to Comet Ping Pong Pizza, Besta Pizza, well, this was their logo until only a few weeks ago. Clearly, you can see that the Besta logo actually contains the same image, I'm going to show you again, as that boy lover image. Interestingly, after Pizzagate investigators pointed this out, Besta Pizza changed their logo, and there it is now. They removed the triangle. Also, Comet Ping Pong, owned by Alphantis, is the place where a number of performance artists perform regularly. 2 of the groups that perform there, who you can see advertised, by the way, on this Comet Ping Pong poster, include a group called Heavy Breathing and another group called Sex Stains. Well, if you check out the YouTube videos by these bands, Heavy Breathing has songs that do joke about pedophilia, and the band Sex Stains has a video that includes, and you see it right there, that same boy lover symbol. It's nearly identical to the one that the FBI does say is a pedophile code symbol for boy love. As I said, there are some strange things there. As for the owner of the pizza place, James Alphantis, well, he was one time in a relationship with David Brock, who ran Media Matters for America. Well, since Pizzagate began to blow up online, he has made his Instagram profile, Jimmy Comet, private. But an archive search of Instagram reveals a number of strange photographs and words with strange and disturbing images associated with them. Look, to the point where we can't show you those pictures. We're not even going to describe them to you because some viewers would find it too disturbing to share on TV. Now let's talk about the Podesta brothers, because remember, it was John Podesta's email that was hacked. In those leaked Podesta emails, John Podesta talks about his close relationship with Dennis Hastert, the former Speaker of the House, who was recently sentenced to 15 months in prison for abusing boys years ago. He was referred to by the judge as a serial child molester. According to the Washington Post, visitors to Tony Podesta's home in Falls Church got an eyeful when they walked into a bedroom at the Podesta residence hung with multiple color pictures by Katie Grannon, a photographer known for documentary-style pictures of naked teenagers in their parents' suburban homes. And to be clear, that just begins to scratch the surface of how strange some of this stuff is. And bear in mind, we can't get into a lot of the real details of it because of the limits on broadcasting this on television. But it is some very strange stuff. Now keep in mind, again, there is no proof here that there is a child sex ring being operated out of a DC pizza parlor. Investigators have already proven there's nothing to the story, right? Well, actually, no. And that's what you need to know. For all that is here, there has not been one single public investigation of any of this. Not from local police, not from the FBI, no one. And that has to be the big question. Not for Podesta or for pizza parlor owners, but for law enforcement. Based on what may be or may not be here, the big question is, why hasn't any investigation taken place?
And the craziest fake news of all is something called Pizzagate. People actually believe a conspiracy theory that Hillary Clinton and her former campaign manager, John Podesta, ran a child sex ring at a pizzeria in D.C. This is a lie. We all know the only people who are trapped in a pizza place are those robots at Chuck E. Cheese. I've seen Westworld. One day they're going to rise up and kill us all. Now, according to the folks with the spider eggs hatching in their brains, Clinton and Podesta have a series of smuggling tunnels that connect to the basement of this pizzeria. But police refuse to investigate the basement crime scene on the flimsy excuse that the pizzeria does not have a basement. That's how deep this goes. Ground level. So where did this conspiracy theory start? Apparently, some alt-right folks were combing through Clinton campaign emails hacked by Russia and published by WikiLeaks and noticed there seems to be more references to pizza and pizzerias than they had expected, which can only mean one thing: secret sex ring. A lot of uninformed, gullible people fell for the Clinton-Podesta sex ring theory. People like Trump's pick for National Security Advisor, Michael Flynn, who tweeted out a link writing, "New Hillary emails, money laundering, sex crimes with children, etc. must read," introducing it, "You decide." Okay, then I decide a guy who spreads this bullshit shouldn't be in charge of national security.
James Alefantis is an entrepreneur, an avid art collector, and owns a few shops and restaurants in the Washington, D.C. area. Not only is Alefantis the proprietor of Comet Ping Pong, books, fishing and camping, as well as other establishments, but according to GQ magazine, James Alefantis is the 49th most influential person in DC. Comet Ping Pong Pizza has hosted many Democrat fundraisers and events, including for Hillary Clinton herself. The Federal Election Commission reports that Hillary Clinton donated to James Alefantis, and so did George Soros. Alefantis celebrates his birthday each year with Big Tony Podesta. James Alefantis' ex-boyfriend is David Brock, who founded the liberal media watchdog group Media Matters for America. In late 2013, Brock founded the company Correct the Record, which was described by the New York Times as Hillary Clinton's own personal media watchdog. Both James Alefantis and David Brock were heavily involved in the Hillary 2016 campaign and have been lurking in the shadows of the DNC for a long time. And here we have a picture of James Alefantis and David Brock hanging out at Linda Rothschild's house. There are lots of rumors that James Alefantis himself is actually a Rothschild. Also, according to the Federal Election Commission, James Alefantis has donated multiple times to former presidential candidate Democrat Pete Buttigieg. So we can also see by the attendance logs that James Alefantis has visited the White House at least 5 times. Here's a letter from Hillary Clinton to James Alefantis thanking him for dinner, cooking with the Fratelli Podesta. Here's another picture of Obama that James Alefantis posted with Obama playing ping pong with a young boy at the White House. James Alefantis is known as Jimmy Comet on Instagram, and in 2016 researchers found out a huge amount of strange photos, many including children with strange references on his account, which of course he quickly switched to private. But Anons were quick to capture the information, and his Instagram was scrutinized by thousands of people online due to the disturbing nature of the posts from the owner of a family restaurant. Many of the comments and hashtags posted on the photos of his account, and many of the accounts linked to James Alefantis and Comet Pizza, include code words well known and established by the FBI as codes used by pedos. With what was discovered in the open source investigations by Anons on forums I've mentioned before, such as 4chan's Poll, Vote, Steemit and Reddit, people wondered why James Alefantis had so many pictures of kids all over his social media when he does not have any kids himself. Of course, he says he got the photos from random Facebook pages, and the pictures were of his friends' children, who are of course afraid to come forward due to the backlash by the crazy conspiracy theorists who had questions about the creepy content shared amongst him and his friends, which really uncovered an almost underground culture that normal people not part of that culture would not understand. So let us now see what all the fuss is about and check out some of James Alefantis' Instagram posts that the media completely kept away from the public. So in this photo we have a baby eating pizza, and the comments say, "First pizza," and another that says, "New Comet ad," as in a new ad for Comet Ping Pong. In this one we have a baby doll for sale, and the comments say, "Way overpriced." In this photo we have another picture of a baby with the hashtag of hotard, as in a whore and a retard, which is messed up to be thinking that way about a baby. Here we have a child drinking milk with the hashtag Karis James. Here again we have another hashtag with Karis James with a picture of a child posing with money. Here is another hashtag of Karis James with a picture of a child. This man doesn't have any children, but has pictures of children all over his Instagram. Here's a picture of a girl at a beauty pageant, and she is highlighted as saying, "I just want my pizza." The media totally covered up this aspect of the case. One of the more disturbing images is of this child pictured as being taped to a table. Here is James Alefantis posting about money and pills, and in the comments it says "ping pong in London." Here's Alefantis expressing his love for playing ping pong in Germany in a place called Dr. Pong's. I wonder, are these places linked somehow? Here's James Alefantis displaying 3 masked children, which was linked to another creepy account. One of the most controversial images is of one man holding a baby with a sex bracelet around their necks. James Alefantis tags chicken lovers, and chicken lover is defined as a homosexual man that is attracted to underage boys in the Urban Dictionary, which is commonly cited in these posts. In this picture of a baby on a hammock, James Alefantis comments his usual disturbing, weird shit. In this image we have a large refrigerated room, and in the comment section we see someone say hashtag killroom and hashtag murder. We also see someone comment who is called Working on My Night Cheese, who also has a kill room at his artist studio at the Pajama Factory, and his friends who are apparently familiar with the hashtag killroom. Here he is making a small coffin table. This comment says, it's like concrete, but plywood, but concrete. Here, working on my night cheese, asks James Alefantis on this post if he was burying a body. Some of the other images are again very risque for what is being pushed as a family restaurant. In the comments of this post, we see someone saying, "Whip me up a Haitian special, extra cheese." Do you think this is all normal for a children's pizzeria?
Answer me.
It is also weird that James Alefantis' name can be basically translated from French to be "I like children." It is also worth knowing that the hashtag we have seen, #CarisJames, could have something to do with the drug Caris Prodol, which is a muscle relaxant, but I'm not too sure about that. The profile picture of James Alefantis is the Greek god Antinous, who was deified as a living god and was attracted to young boys. So this would be someone idolized by maybe a pedophile. So John Podesta was the chairman of the Hillary Clinton campaign in 2016 and has served as counselor to Obama and chief of staff for Bill Clinton. Podesta has been in the inner circle of some very powerful people for a very long time. WikiLeaks released thousands of Podesta's emails, and when researchers went through them, they found some weird references to hot dogs and pizza, as I've previously mentioned. And it became obvious that they were talking in some kind of code. The same code established years prior by the FBI, as in hot dog means boy and pizza means girl. Here we have an email discussing that the White House is flying in $6,500 worth of hot dogs and pizza from Chicago for a late night party at the White House. Using the usual channels is mentioned. Guys, they're not talking about food, as it is prohibited to bring in outside food to the White House for fear of poisoning and for security reasons. The White House has a fully functioning kitchen to be able to cater for guests. Are we really supposed to believe that they're flying in hot dogs all the way from Chicago for late night parties at the White House when there's perfectly good food in Washington DC, which is actually renowned for its very good restaurants, so no need to go all the way to Chicago. This email is addressed to John Podesta and discusses dreaming about a hot dog stand in Hawaii. Now this email is one of Hillary's, and it says, "With fingers crossed, the old rabbit's foot out of the attic. I will be sacrificing a chicken in the backyard to Moloch." Moloch? So there you have it, folks. Hillary Clinton out in the back garden sacrificing a chicken to some satanic god. Why didn't the media cover that? Instead they were covering Donald Trump having too much ketchup on his fries. Here is one from James Alefantis to Podesta, including the Hillary logo with a pizza embedded on it. Alefantis says to Podesta not to forward it. This is just another example of their humor in their culture. In this one, Podesta says, "I'm coming to town and I'm bringing walnuts." In another email, we also see him talk about walnut sauce. This email says, The realtor found a handkerchief map that is pizza related. Why would anyone be emailing about such things? Handkerchief maps that are pizza related. The FBI has also reported about a thing called a handkerchief code, with each color of the handkerchief having a specific meaning. And this one says, "Do you think I'll do better playing dominoes on cheese than on pasta?" This email shows John writing to his brother Tony Podesta saying he would love to get pizza for an hour. Another email includes a picture of a party at Podesta's house. At the party they have a lifelike cutout of the Pope. This email has an image of two Asian women eating pizza with a child. Well, these women in this picture are Laura Lee and Laura Ling, who are arrested while allegedly researching child trafficking for Democrat Al Gore's media company.
30 hours ago, Yuna Lee and I were prisoners in North Korea. We feared that at any moment we could be sent to a hard labor camp. And then suddenly we were told that we were going to a meeting. We were taken to a location, and when we walked in through the doors, we saw standing before us President Bill Clinton.
If you wanna hang out, you got to take her out. Cocaine.
I find this next example to be the most disturbing, and it was covered really well by both Memory Hold and Mouthy Buddha. We see that Tamara Lozado shares her excitement about the reprise of the gang's visit to the farm in Lovettsville. "We plan to heat the pool, so a swim is a possibility. Bonnie will be transporting Ruby Emerson and Maeve, 11, 9 and 7, so you will have some further entertainment and they will be in that pool for sure." So why is a mother organizing for a grown man to swim with her children? I remember all this information coming in day by day live, and this really horrified a lot of the Anons. It was very clear to us that something else was being discussed here other than food. This painting was found in the campaign office of John Podesta, and it looks like two people are about to eat another human. John's brother Tony Podesta and his wife were named by GQ to be the 23rd most powerful people in Washington. The Podesta Group's website describes him as the following: "Many people in Washington can tell you what just happened to you. Tony Podesta helps you change outcomes." Tony is recognized by his peers, the news media, and decision makers across the federal government as the man with the judgments and smarts to get things done. James Alefantis and the Podesta brothers are obviously complete deep state weirdos and are into some very sick shit. Washington Home Life magazine featured Tony Podesta and shows his house and his art collection. We see the art displayed is very sexually themed around children. The article starts off by saying, "If you've ever dreamed of strolling through a museum with a glass of wine and a slice of pizza in hand, you need to befriend super lobbyist Tony Podesta, known about town as a legendary political fix-it man. Tony has turned his home into a shrine for contemporary art, including some of his favorite artists." The article goes on to say he came from a Hillary Clinton fundraiser and has worked for Walmart, Lockheed, and Wells Fargo. The article also says he regularly hosts pizza parties with his friend James Alefantis. Tony's first major art purchase is the £2,000 bronze statue by an artist called Louis Bourgeois, and the piece is called The Arch of Hysteria. According to the National Gallery of Canada, the piece was inspired by the artist's interests in the physical, emotional, and the psychological aspects of pain and fear. It has been well noted that the Arch of Hysteria also mimics the same position that Jeffrey Dahmer would leave his decapitated victims in. Other artists who featured in his collection were Maria Marshall, Margie Gerlinks, Patricia Piccinini, and Marina Abramovich. Marina Abramovich got notoriety in the lead up to the 2016 United States election, when it was revealed through WikiLeaks that John Podesta, through his brother Tony, was invited to one of Marina's spirit cooking events. It turns out that spirit cooking is some kind of weird performance art where blood and other bodily fluids are used to paint in some kind of live painting performance. She's actually pretty well known and has collaborated with the likes of Jay-Z and is especially close to Lady Gaga. The Hollyweird elites really are very interested in Marina's art and her approval. When Marina was asked about the role of the occult in her art in a Reddit Q&A, she answered that when you're doing occult magic in the context of art in a gallery, then it's just art. But if you're doing it in a different context, in spiritual kind of black magic circles, or in a private home, or on a TV show like an MTV Music Awards performance, well, then it's not art, it's a ritual performance. So with all black magic, as she explains, it's the intention. The context is what defines whether it is art or not. As found in the WikiLeaks emails, Hillary Clinton has also been invited to and does attend these type of spirit cooking events.
Good evening. What a mighty and humiliating fall. Dennis Hastert, once one of the most powerful men in the country and second in line for the presidency, faced a blistering dressing down from an angry federal judge in Chicago today as he publicly confronted a shameful past and was sentenced to prison. Hastert was convicted of a financial crime, but it was part of a scheme to mask something more egregious: his molestation of children. And today he came face to face with one of his alleged victims. NBC's Stephanie Gosk was there.
Former Speaker of the House Dennis Hastert arrived at Chicago's federal courthouse today in a wheelchair. His lawyers argued that his poor health should keep him out of prison. But the judge was unsparing, saying of Hastert, nothing is more stunning than having serial child molester and Speaker of the House in the same sentence. Hastert was sentenced to 15 months in prison, followed by 2 years of supervised release.
Dennis Hastert was the 51st Speaker of the House of Representatives and the longest Republican to hold the post. Well, he was busted in the 1970s for child molestation. In the WikiLeaks drops, we see that Hastert is mentioned by the Podestas as sending Hastert to an unknown location, an island in Japan. Monica Peterson was the assistant director of the Human Trafficking Center and was critical of the Clinton Foundation and its role in human trafficking in the region. She was later found dead of an apparent suicide. The Clinton Foundation raised money for Haiti relief projects, but the Haitian people have said they never received the donations. Comet Ping Pong on their menu had a logo similar to the Child Lover logo from the FBI memo. The words play, eat, drink is displayed on the paddles, and this just happens to be an acronym for PED, which is short for pedo. These logos are all used by businesses surrounding Comet Ping Pong. Besta Pizza was clearly using the pedo logo on their restaurant until they changed it after the scandal broke. Anons had noticed that the logo was the same as the FBI pedo logo. Besta Pizza is allegedly owned by Andrew Klein, who allegedly is the director of the Human Trafficking Prosecution Unit for the DOJ, but I couldn't absolutely confirm this, as there's a few Andrew Kleins. Pizzagate is massive and involves a man named Aaron Rao. Here is a brief description of his position at the Department of Justice. Assistance to the United States Attorney, DOJ Supervisor of the Southern Division Office of the DOJ's District of Maryland. Like the Major Crime Section in Baltimore, the Greenbelt Office prosecutes a wide array of federal offenses, including bank robberies, immigration violations, counterfeiting, and child pornography. Aaron Rao was caught liking Jimmy Comet's creepy photos with children. Also next door is Politics and Prose, which is owned by Lisa Muscatine, who has been a Hillary Clinton supporter for over 20 years. We also have Beyond Borders, who allegedly work to support children and women in Haiti. So Anon started digging and looking at all the different properties in the area, and 2 stores away from Beyond Borders is another bistro which displays yet another FBI pedophile logo. When we combine all this circumstantial evidence, it is kind of obvious that all the owners of these properties know each other and are into something sinister. It is no secret that there is a very large network of underground tunnels beneath the architecture of DC. Though many of the tunnels are said to be out of use, some of them have been reappropriated, including one to an art gallery to the DuPont Underground. Alefantis has said in the media that there was no basement at Comet Ping Pong, but if we look at an article from a few years prior, he says, "We harvest a whole crop of organic tomatoes. 10 tons of tomatoes every year. Can them all, store them in the basement, and have a harvest party." Why would he lie about having a basement? So of course creepy Joe Biden has one of the most disturbing things on his own Instagram, where he gave Obama a friendship bracelet with a pizza on it. On Alefantis' Instagram account, he mentions Dr. Pong's in Germany, which is a dingy, seedy ping pong bar and has a very weird website, which is relevant as Dr. Pong's and Comet Ping Pong's website are hosted by the same admin. James Alefantis seems to play this type of ping pong in London, Berlin, as well as DC. In 2007, Frank Winstead, a member of the local community, tried warning the neighborhood about the establishment, saying they were involved in all sorts of dark activity. The community from Comet Ping Pong Pizza have recorded themselves harassing Frank after his complaints. Frank then recorded this video outside Comet Ping Pong. Comet Ping Pong is supposed to be a pizzeria for children. So this is a bathroom with a picture of a man jerking off on the wall, and the staff at Comet obviously have since removed the controversial art. But was this appropriate to have, you know, with it being a family friendly restaurant and all? The posters of some of the acts that play at Comet are very edgy and inappropriate, to say the least. One of the bands that played in this children's pizzeria is a band called Sex Stains, who, if you see in their music video, of course flash the pedo symbols identified by the FBI years earlier. The promoter for the bands at Comet Ping Pong is Sasha Lord. Sasha Lord previously volunteered with the Girl Scouts, running an outreach Girl Scout troop at a juvenile detention centre. Sasha has worked with children for much of her life, but now all of a sudden she's recruited to hire bands for the back room of a seedy small pizzeria that is just open for 4 hours a day. Here we see a person that calls themselves Majestic Ape, whose real name is Amanda Kleinman. The video is at Sasha Lord's birthday party, and you can clearly hear Majestic Ape talking casually about pizza and discussing with the crowd the favours Sasha Lord provides. You can also hear in the crowd people laughing and some joking about pedophilia.
If you are like me, you love Sasha, or if you don't, you want perks from her. Things like free pizza. Have any of you enjoyed this special pizza here tonight called the Hottie? And Jerry is known to hang out down here. He likes the world sounds. Tamales.
And little boys. And children. No.
We all have preferences.
Majestic Ape has also mentioned pedophilia in her videos. Here's a quick look at the perverse visuals used in her videos.
And to all a good night. The end. How did you like that one? Yes.
Majestic Ape also works with a man called James Huckenpaller, who has worked with Transformer, which is a non-profit organization that James Alefantis is the board president of. Here he is with a person called Neil Lawson, who actually commented on one of the earlier photos we looked at, and we will come back to Neil Lawson later. So we see in this picture it is censored as the topless female in the picture could be underage, but we can see that the picture is liked by Panda Head Morgan, who is a person we will look at later in the video, so remember that name. James Alefantis uploaded this creepy picture of a man in a panda mask, and we see many other photos posted of pandas with the hashtag #ComePanda. One of the tags is Panda Head Magazine, which used to be run by a small team of DC bloggers who also made this weird, creepy occult movie which was named Cult Panda, where they had the U replaced with the V. The next person we look at is Working on My Night Cheese, who again can be seen commenting to another user called J. Blair Smith, who uploaded this image, commenting, "My favorite pedo." He also posted this drawing of a woman being hanged and a statue of a baby that was burned. We see the user Joshua Yaniv posted these while at Comet Ping Pong and starred in a low-budget independent movie called Kill Dolly Kill.
Benji. Kill them, Benji. Kill them.
This is Miss Summercamp's Instagram, and Jimmy Comet commented just one word: sex. Miss Summercamp also posted this picture of a little girl holding a watermelon. Saying, "Priceless isn't the word most people use when tasting me." The person who commented below that comment posted a picture of a McDonald's baby changing station to their Instagram with the C removed, saying, "Let's hang a baby." He also posted this text message saying, "I put my baby in a slow cooker. It's been burning all day." Like, how many people do you know that post material like this? If your friends repeatedly posted this type of information that we are looking at in this film, would you think it was normal? In my opinion, these people are all part of a multi-family, international, generational, satanic coven that has infiltrated most key institutions in many countries across the world. As crazy as that sounds. In the next image we see this image uploaded where one of the commentators is called Pizza Fucking Party. Pizza Fucking Party uploaded a picture of children picking up condoms and fake gold coins and little vials of alcohol. He also uploaded a meme of a pentagram, a pizza cut into a pentagram, and another photo of a man in front of a van that says Baby Doll Pizza. As it turns out, the logo is from an actual restaurant named Baby Doll Pizza. Pizza restaurants are commonly used by the cult for money laundering purposes, as these businesses would traditionally be cash payments, so harder to track. In this image from James Alefantis, he references pickles and tags a user named Gordy's Pickle Jar. Who are enjoying a pickle-related inside joke like these people love to do. Gordy's is an actual business, and here are the owners. Gordy's Pickle Jars page also shows multiple images of children. In this comment, a user hashtags the words edible children, and the same user comments, "I want you to do a whole Foodie and the Beast show about edible children and various ways to prepare and eat the children in our lives." These out-of-place comments from adults are not normal to use, as this is not our culture. These people get a kick out of hiding their black magic out in the open. Gordy's Pickle Jar also has this image of a young girl eating a pickle. They tag 3 people, one of whom is Panda Head Morgan, who I had mentioned we would circle back to earlier. Panda Head Morgan had posted multiple times on James Alefantis' Instagram and was also involved in the cult panda film as mentioned previously. Her real name is Morgan West, and she is the founder of Creative DC, which is a hashtag which was created to promote events around the DC area. She was asked about the hashtag and said, "We like to think of it as a resource and also an access point. I wonder what she's referring to and what could people access." She is also the global brand director for a line of hotels called the Seidel Group that remodel hotels. The founders are Andrew Zobler, whose co-founder is Ron Burkle. Guess whose flight log Ron's name appeared in? You got it right. Ron Burkle's name, of course, can be found inside Epstein's Black Book and inside Epstein's private jet log. The New York Times said that Burkle accompanied Bill Clinton multiple times to Epstein's Island. According to sworn statements from the New York Post, Jared Stern, Burkle and Clinton did indeed have sex with minors. But of course then the judge dismissed the allegations against Clinton and Burkle. Bear in mind that this is the same judge that dismissed another sexual abuse case and ordered in favor for Jeffrey Epstein in 2008. So back to Panda Head Morgan. This is a picture of Morgan's front door. So we can see it has pizza and coffins and 666. So, you know, the typical pictures you see on a young woman's door. Her boyfriend Mitchell West works for a company that monitors political ads. He also used to be the bassist for a DC punk band. His Instagram account shows the owners of Gordy's Pickle Jar. This picture saying Satan is real. We see pentagrams and 3 visitor passes for the neonatal and intensive care unit in Washington, D.C., which houses premature infants who are sick or in critical condition. I hope you are now starting to see that these people are indeed part of a hidden dark culture, as this is very dark thinking what their intentions are to be granted such access to premature infants. In this image uploaded by James Alefantis, Jimmy Comet, the user JBSmith614 is tagged. JB Smith is the same user that is tagged here in another post by another Instagram user named Geo. And here are some of the images that we have seen posted by Geo. In this picture, Geo uses hashtags with the word choke. He also posted this image of a child with their face pushed up against the window, and a bathhouse with what looks like blood, where he tagged the word murder and posted some additional satanic imagery. Geo posted this picture of him with the child and also an image of what seems to be some kind of sex party. Here is Gio liking pictures of underage girls. Gio is also the fashion designer for the Puma, worn here by Rihanna. So let's think about this for a second. The same man who designs shoes for A-list celebrities also posts pedophile-themed pictures. Are all these celebrities ignorant to this? Gio also seems to be obsessed with goats and posts other creepy videos including a film called Blossom Valley, which of course is about a couple who kidnap a newborn baby. Gio then tags a user called Beth. So let's have a closer look at Beth. Surely she can't also be into posting all this weird stuff. To quote Mark Dice, "Oh but wait, what's this?" Here we see, according to their Instagram, they were an item, and she commented, "My pedo babe." Aww, just like a satanic version of Dawson's Creek. Fucking disgusting weirdos. The design on his tie also supports the notion of him being very involved in this pedo-Luciferian, hidden in plain sight subculture. Beth also posts weird images, including this image saying, "Last Christmas I killed them all." A child don't know what bad is. Sacrifice Sunday. And a cartoon depicting necrophilia. So Mouthy Buddha has done really good coverage of this, so I'll say it again, go check out his videos, the links are below in the description. Beth also posts pictures of insects and says messed up things like "my kid of relationship." These people are obsessed with their lame, suggestive jokes about child abuse. Beth also says, "My uncle loves Carla more than his wife." Fetish Easter ceremony last night. Here she is smiling in front of a sign that says serial killer. Striving for a piece of Lucifer. Sending nudes and eating shit and killing kids. Hashtag me. In this image she hashtags EU Cannibal, which is apparently about one of her music projects. Beth also posted these pictures of bleeding children. Now, going back to an earlier post from Jimmy Comet, we see a user whose name is Neelay Lawson. Neelay shared some work on her Facebook from an artist named Enrique, saying, "These are great. Here are some of the pictures that Neelay felt were great." In this image by James Alefantis, we see a user named Kev who posted this image. He also posted a picture of Macaulay Culkin, which is relevant as Macaulay Culkin's band is called the Pizza Underground and seems to be pretty aligned with this culture. And another of a store named Happy Kids World. So one of the comments says, "Those kids were never happy," by someone named Itza. Itza uploaded this image commenting the words, "Ideal boy." This picture of a baby was uploaded by Jay. The user CB uploaded a baby doll covered in blood or fake blood, a picture of a boy tied up about to be set on fire, a van that looks to have no seats in the back and sealed off windows, which looks like these vans that have been reported as being behind many cases of the abduction of young children. CB says, "Yes, it appears Arch has appeared to have discovered there is money to be made in human trafficking." Well, there you go guys, right out in the open. These people are sick. He also posted some pictures from an artist named Carol Walker. Does all of this information presented so far seem to be just edgy jokes and mere attempts to provoke? Or instead a satanic coven involved in human trafficking, hiding in plain sight? Cage is openly a self-proclaimed pedophile and has shared his boy lover symbol tattoos on Instagram. The little boy lover's logo was deliberately created to look like a little boy's scrawl. Let us now look at who created the pedo logos, which I've said already were identified by the FBI before Pizzagate.
And you know, that is a vibe we got to defend yourself anytime, any day. No one from on this end can go live. Done. You finish it.
The logos came from two weirdos called Astram and the Night Raven. These two pedos copyrighted the symbol in 1997 and have even created art around the symbol to celebrate their deviancy.
This is the flyer that led New Britain police to 39-year-old John Sperling and 29-year-old Jeff Brisson. The two men were arrested back in January for the alleged sexual assault of a 14-year-old boy and a 3-month-old girl.
They determined that Mr. Brisson had sexually assaulted the 3-month-old, that infant that was on scene.
Let's go.
Standing up for you. For other children just like you. Like I've always told you, we have a duty to protect people who can't protect themselves, to do for people who can't do for themselves. I'm trying to do. I hope you understand that one day. I love all y'all.
Fake news, real gunfire. A North Carolina man arrested in a D.C. pizza shop after brandishing a gun, telling police he was there to investigate a conspiracy theory called Pizzagate.
One of the hosts runs up and is like, did you see that guy? He had a big gun.
We actually thought initially that he was a staff member because he was walking straight for that back room. Staff member, kind of looked at me and indicated that this was a gunman.
Edgar Welch appearing in court this afternoon. According to police, Welch said that he had read online that the Comet Ping Pong restaurant was harboring child sex slaves and that he wanted to see for himself if they were there. The suspect said he was armed to help rescue them. The accusation came from this unhinged story that originated online days before the election, saying that Hillary Clinton and her campaign chairman John Podesta were operating a child sex ring. The lie took root in the digital swamps of Twitter and far right-wing websites.
We're not covering Pizzagate enough, even though we covered it every day, to expose the Satanism and the occult and the code words for pedophilia.
October 30th, a Clinton-hating, Trump-loving Twitterer claimed a police source said Clinton was at the center of a pedophilia ring. Others latched onto this, seemingly hoping it was true, scouring dark corners of the web for possible clues. This is how conspiracy theories are threaded together, lie by lie. Eventually a name stuck, Pizzagate, and the believers started harassing the owner of the pizza place.
We've received many calls, but really they're from around the world, so we didn't expect anyone to come.
On Sunday, the suspect fired his weapon. No one was hurt. With detectives still on the scene in D.C., Pizzagate believers were already claiming that this real development was just part of a cover-up.
The media is claiming that this is because of Pizzagate. This is very dangerous fake news. Anybody claiming that the gunman today at Comet Pizza had anything to do with Pizzagate is lying.
Comet Pizza, a popular Washington, D.C. neighborhood restaurant, unwittingly at the center of a deeply troubling internet storm.
Last weekend, as people were dining inside here, a 28-year-old man turned up armed with an assault rifle to, as he put it, self-investigate what police have called a fictitious online conspiracy theory.
The man fired a shot inside the restaurant. No one was hurt, but this became an alarming consequence of a growing online phenomena, fake news.
So I think we're definitely onto something here with this Pizzagate investigation.
This stemmed from a bizarre and completely false article claiming that Hillary Clinton was running a child sex ring out of the pizzeria. One of the more high-profile figures fanning the flames of the spurious story was Michael G. Flynn, the son of retired General Michael T. Flynn, who President-elect Donald Trump has tapped to be his national security advisor. After the attack, Flynn Jr. tweeted that the story had not been proved untrue.
It started with what turned out to be a bogus news story suggesting that Bill and Hillary Clinton were running a sex ring out of a Washington, D.C. pizza parlor. The whole thing turned truly frightening when a man showed up at that pizza parlor with a gun 2 weeks ago demanding to know more. And now this has become the center of a national debate over fake news. James Alefantis, the owner of the pizzeria, is talking for the first time. He is here on set with me in moments. But first we go to Trace Gallagher in our West Coast newsroom on how this whole thing got started. Trace?
Megan, as many controversies do these days, it began with a tweet. On October 30th, days after the FBI announced they'd be reopening an investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails, someone on Twitter, whose name remains unverified but has several thousand followers, posted that new emails found on Anthony Weiner's computer confirmed that Hillary Clinton was involved in a pedophilia ring. The Twitter post included information from a Facebook user who stated, quote, "My NYPD source said it's much more vile and serious than classified material on Weiner's device. We're talking an international child enslavement and sex ring." The next day, the bogus claim was picked up by a website called YourNewsWire.com, message boards like 4chan and Reddit, right-wing blogs, and several pro-Trump websites. InfoWars' Alex Jones, a far-right web host, posted a YouTube video seen almost 500,000 times.
When I think about
all the children Hillary Clinton has personally murdered and chopped up and raped. I have zero fear standing up against her.
The rumor spread, inspiring some newfound internet sleuths to start digging around in John Podesta's hacked emails, searching for proof and location of the so-called sex ring. What they found were numerous references to pizza, a term Urban Dictionary says is slang for child pornography. So somehow they concluded that Podesta and company were speaking in code. They also pounced on an email from D.C. pizzeria owner and prominent Democratic supporter James Alefantis, inviting Podesta to a pizza party fundraiser at his restaurant.
Ready to go?
Users then started combing through Alefantis' Instagram posts, including a photo of a young girl with her hands taped to the ping pong table. Alefantis says the child is his goddaughter and the picture was very innocent. And this picture, that conspiracy theorists decided must be the secret basement where children are locked up. But in fact, it's from a restaurant Alefantis considered leasing, and Comet Ping Pong doesn't even have a basement. By November 4th, just 6 days after the initial tweet about a sex ring, Alefantis was officially part of the conspiracy. He began receiving threatening phone calls with people labeling him a pedophile. On November 7th, the hashtag Pizzagate was born. And by November 16th, people started showing up at the restaurant to investigate for themselves, like well-known right-wing activist Jack Posobiec, who used a video camera to live stream his visit on Periscope, focusing on a child's birthday party, trying to catch nefarious activity. On December 4th, Edgar Welch showed up at Comet Ping Pong armed with an AR-15, a revolver, and a knife, determined to find underground rooms and vaults, firing his gun at a door, behind which Alefantis says he wouldn't have found anything exciting.
And here is our bags and coat closet. The bullet went into our computer system. After bullet went into our computer system. After bullet went into our computer system.
Welch surrendered peacefully, saying that he was trying to rescue the children he was sure were hidden inside. He faces charges including assault with a deadly weapon. Megan.
Trace Gallagher, thank you. Joining me now in a Kelly File exclusive, James Alefantis, owner of Comet Ping Pong in Washington, D.C. James, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
What a terrible ordeal this must have been for you.
It has been.
When this man walked into your restaurant with this gun, firing multiple shots, no one was injured. You weren't there that day, right?
I was there earlier that day.
You knew things were reaching a fever pitch, but did you ever foresee that?
It had been building since before the election, so starting on November 4th, I started receiving messages on my Instagram that were just very bizarre and strange and accusing me of all kinds of falseness and conspiracy. And this built and built and built and built for over a month. And really, it's not just me that was involved. It was my staff who was harassed and attacked. They received Instagram messages, Facebook messages. Then it started to appear that images of children and other people were being taken from social media and blasted throughout the internet with this insane conspiracy idea filled with just lies about this impossible international conspiracy of human traffickers involving Hillary Clinton.
Oh my goodness, and you're a Democratic donor. There's nothing illegal about that.
No.
It doesn't make you a pedophile or somebody who's part of a child sex ring. One of the pictures that Trey showed in the report, people have been pointing to, well, look at this is evidence. There's a child with her hands taped down, and you say there's a very simple explanation for that.
Yeah, I'm very glad that you've had us on today. It's an incredible thing. We've invited your cameras into the restaurant because people have all of these ideas, and people use social media. This is a picture of my godchild in a completely innocent place, very happily playing with her sister. Her sister's taped her hands. Her parents are there. I put this on my Instagram with their approval. Right there, it sits there on the internet for a year and a half, and people start building these lies and falsities about innocent people and then spreading this image over the internet.
When people talk about fake news, you know, a lot of folks just roll their eyes like, oh, you know, whatever. People figure it out. The truth is they don't always figure it out. And someone could have been killed inside of your restaurant for no good reason other than people like Alex Jones fanned a conspiracy theory that even the D.C. police say has no basis in fact.
Yes, it's a pack of lies. And It's dangerous. What happens is this person was inspired to drive across 4 state lines with an assault rifle and enter a family-friendly restaurant at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday. So you can imagine the fear that must have been felt by these people, and this is real consequences. My staff lives in fear. My staff are the bravest people I've ever met, and we are trying to make sure that they're safe and do their job. Imagine someone coming to your workplace with an assault rifle.
And to be accused of being a pedophile because you have emails that talk about pizza. When you run a pizza parlor, I mean, there are going to be emails like, well, the word pizza seems out of place. I mean, it's really gone down the rabbit hole. But you tell me whether this has affected your business, and separate and apart from the fact that no one was injured, whether there have been real-life consequences to you and your customers and your staff as a result of, again, the D.C. police are saying this is fake.
Thank you. It's true. Yes, it's like being terrorized. It's been over a month of daily death threats to me, hundreds of phone calls to the restaurant, asking for all kinds of wild things like ordering a cheese pizza, something that we just do. We're a pizza place, a family-friendly pizza place. We've been in existence for 10 years in the same location. So it was difficult and shocking. Now, our community has rallied around us, so we have people coming in. There's families and kids. We're there. We have private security. We're trying to make sure that our staff feels safe, that our community feels safe, that our customers feel safe.
What's the bottom line, quickly? What's the takeaway? What needs to change?
I think there has to be some way of breaking these things up. It's impossible that this news can go from one person to the next in a grand conspiracy theory, and there's no reporting, no ability to do anything.
I know Reddit has banned this topic on its website. I mean, slowly but surely, those who help ban it are trying to dial it back out of the safety, out of concerns for the safety of those who have been endangered by
Really, this could happen to anyone. It's not just us. It's any single person.
I know you said to our producers, it's all so surreal until the gun comes in. Wow. James, thank you for being here and telling your story.
Thank you so much.
All the best to you.
Thank you.
Alex Jones here with an important note to our viewing, listening, and reading audiences. I'm going to read to you from a statement that's also posted to Infowars.com that I wrote yesterday. Last fall, before the presidential election, a large number of media outlets began reporting on allegations arising from emails released by WikiLeaks that appeared to come from John Podesta, who served President Clinton and Obama and was the chairman of Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. Dozens of those stories and articles raised or discussed theories that some of Podesta's emails contained code words for human trafficking and or pedophilia. Stories also included allegations connecting members of the Democratic Party with a number of restaurants allegedly involved with a child sex ring. These stories were cited and discussed in social media and went viral on the internet. One of the persons mentioned in many of the stories in the media was a Washington, D.C. restaurant owner named James Alefantis and his pizza restaurant, Comet Ping Pong. It is fair to say that Mr. Alefantis is a prominent individual who has been mentioned as a power player in Washington. Mr. Alefantis and his restaurant were mentioned in many stories published by a lot of different outlets. Mr. Alefantis was quoted in many subsequent stories, and he denied any involvement in such reported child sex rings. These denials were reported in the national media and many other outlets and news websites. The volume of stories was substantial, generating national headlines and came to be known across the country as Pizzagate. We at InfoWars became part of that national discussion. We broadcast commentary about the allegations and the theory that the emails contained code words. We raised questions about information in Mr. Podesta's emails and in the Comet Ping Pong restaurant. We believed at the time that further investigation was necessary. In December of 2016, we disassociated ourselves from the Pizzagate claims and theories, a position we reiterated last month after being contacted by Mr. Alefantis. In late February of 2017, we received a letter from Mr. Alefantis asking that we retract certain statements that he says were made in 7 of our broadcasts between the last week of November and the first week of December in 2016. We have attempted through our lawyers to contact Mr. Alefantis to discuss with him what sort of statement he would like to see made. In our commentary about what had become known as Pizzagate, I made comments about Mr. Alefantis that in hindsight I regret and for which I apologize to him. We were participating in a discussion that was being written about by scores of media outlets in one of the most hotly contested and disputed political environments our country has ever seen. We relied on third-party accounts of alleged activities and conduct at the restaurant. We also relied on accounts of reporters who were no longer with us. This was an ever-evolving story, which had a huge amount of commentary about it across many, many media outlets. As I have said before, what became a heightened focus on Mr. Alefantis and Comet Ping Pong by many media outlets was not appropriate. To my knowledge today, neither Mr. Alefantis nor his restaurant, Comet Ping Pong, were involved in any human trafficking, as was part of the theories about Pizzagate that were being written about in the media outlets and which we commented upon. I want our viewers and listeners to know that we regret any negative impact our commentaries may have had on Mr. Alefantis, Comet Ping Pong, or its employees. We apologize to the extent our commentaries could be considered as negative statements about Mr. Alefantis or Comet Ping Pong, and we hope that anyone else involved in commenting on Pizzagate will do the same thing. Here's what we've done to clarify to the public. Months ago, we took down the majority of broadcasts and videos, including ones that only passingly mentioned Pizzagate. This happened months before we were even contacted by Mr. Alefantis. Mr. Alefantis objected to portions of 7 particular radio/TV broadcasts. We have taken down those 7 broadcasts, and we have attempted to take down any broadcast that mentioned Mr. Alefantis or Comet Ping Pong. We have attempted to do so not just on our website, but also on social media sites such as our YouTube channel. If Mr. Alefantis has any other objections, we invite him to let us know. 2 reporters who used to be associated with us are no longer with us. In a recent broadcast, I invited Mr. Alefantis on our program to state what he wanted to, and I again do so here. He has given interviews to many media outlets, and he is welcome to come on our show. In issuing this statement, we are not admitting that Mr. Alefantis or his restaurants have any legal claim. We do not believe they do, but we are issuing this statement because we believe it's the right thing to do. It will be no surprise to you that we will fight for children across America. But the Pizzagate narrative, as least as concerning Mr. Alefantis and Comet Ping Pong, we have subsequently determined was based upon what we now believe was an incorrect narrative. Despite the fact that we were far from the genesis of this story, it is never easy to admit when your commentaries are based on inaccurate information. But we feel like we owe it to you, the listeners, viewers, and supporters to make that statement and to give an apology to you and Mr. Alefantis when we do. We encourage you to hold us accountable.
There was foreknowledge of the false flag shooting as the traffic cameras were moved 24 hours before the shooting and moved back afterwards, which meant anyone watching online couldn't see what happened. Here are some interesting points on Welsh. He had almost killed a child with his car, and his father really seems to be a deep state asset with his background. His father owns a movie production company called Forever Young Productions, and used to have an extremely high security clearance level and worked for the government in a variety of roles. The type of movies Welsh Sr. is involved in is low-budget slasher gore type of movies. Was his son offered a deal to drop the charges from the car accident with the child if he participated in a deep state psyop, considering his father is or was a spook and a potential coven member? Also interesting to note, Welsh is an actor and also spent some time doing charity work in, guess where? Haiti. This fake shooting was used to bring in more censorship and demonize people who questioned the official narrative, as well as attack the Second Amendment. So Welsh shot one shot through the door or through the keyhole and hit the computer, so all the data on the computer is now inaccessible. So where's the bullet hole damage on the door then?
We have the hacker who broke into Comet Ping Pong on the phone with me now.
So it all started last November. when the Podesta emails came out, me and some of my crew, some of the people that I work with, were researching the Podesta emails when they came out, and we found the section on Comet Pizza that had the download section with the zip files, and we ended up getting into those files and found that they contained child pornography. You know, our thought was, let's take it to the proper authorities, the DC Metropolitan Police Department. They seemed like they really didn't want to hear about it, and like I say, they kind of just gave me the runaround. I contacted the FBI. I told them the whole story. They took notes and whatnot, and so I got off the phone with them, and I waited a little while. On December 4th was the day that Edgar Madison Welch went down to Comet Pizza, supposedly with an assault rifle. And so when that news broke on the 4th, I knew right away that it was a false flag to cover up for the evidence that I had given to the DC Police Department.
Hi guys, this is Ryan with PizzagateGear.com. We have a super exciting breakthrough here. As y'all have all seen this video, or this picture right here, we've been working on trying to find the kill room and where it is. And we're 99% sure we know exactly where it is. So guys, I want to look at this picture, and I want you to bring your attention to the circle in red and look at these bricks inside here. You'll notice there's going to be cinder block on top, cinder block on bottom. Then you'll see a red brick, and there's a split in this brick right here on the left. Now we're going to go to the next photo. Now this is a photo from somebody's website, a person of interest, and you're going to notice the same exact thing, the cinder block on top, the red, the black, and the split. And we're going to put these side by side and let you look at it for yourself. Alright guys, you see the split here, same angle, all the bricks are in the same pattern, even the cinder block, the crease, the gap goes right into this black brick. Again, the gap goes right into this black brick. So guys, there you have it. We found the kill room. Another street view, you can see the Pegasus Museum in the background, and you see the playground right here. Something very interesting, when we zoom in, there's a person right on the roof of Pegasus. Seems to be on the phone or something, but looking at the playground. Guys, this is another street view. So Pegasus is right around here. It's right behind this row of buildings right here. So it's completely blocked by this entire row of buildings. You cannot see it. But guys, I want to bring your attention to right here. When we zoom in, kids, and it looks like an arrow's pointing underground. So I thought that was very interesting that right in front of Pegasus Museum is this little red paint saying kids. Guys, this is the street view from the alley of the back of Pegasus. This is another street view. So guys, I want y'all to look at this door. When we go to the next one, you can see this door. And there's a gap right here, a wall going back, and another door over here. And also a garage door right here. There's no windows on the first floor level. I'm the guy who made the Pegasus Museum video yesterday. And I'm also the guy that removed the Pegasus Museum video yesterday. I want to talk to you about why I removed it. And I'm going to explain that now. A few days ago, I contacted James Alefantis via Facebook Messenger, and I asked him if I could do a user-submitted interview with him based on user-submitted questions. So I was going to go to vote and ask you guys to give me questions you'd like for Alefantis to answer. He told me, you know, there's like a 0% chance this is going to happen, but I figured I would ask. He also asked for like my YouTube channel and all this stuff, which I gave to him because I wanted him to feel comfortable and agree to the interview. And then shortly after, I ended up uploading the Pegasus video yesterday, and within 2 hours of that video, he contacted me again via Facebook Messenger. And we talked for a while. So right now I'm going to show you what we talked about. Okay guys, so this is the message chain with Alefantis. Now I had already asked him about the interview and everything. As you can see up here, it's James Alefantis. But whenever I uploaded the Pegasus video, he comes back with, okay man, you win. At this point, I thought he just meant he was okay with the interview, which shocked me. I was like, interview? And then he says, what's your vote name? And I said, what do you need that for? He says, how do I know you have any cred? And so I went ahead and gave him my my vote name just because I really wanted this interview. So I said, LOL, gotcha. I'm kind of just going along with whatever he says. I don't want to spook him. I just want him to keep talking. But then he comes out with, is he your son? I said, no, question mark. Oh, do you know his mom? I'm going to go to the next one. Oh, do you know his mom? And I'm completely lost at this point, so I say I'm confused. And then he writes out my whole name, but he spelled my last name wrong. So I say you spelled it wrong. But he gets, O'Neill, sorry, I see that. And so right now I'm just completely lost in this conversation. I don't know what's going on. So I'm like, so what's up, man? And then he says he's in trouble. And I go, who? And he says you in all caps. So right now, I'm not going to lie, I was kind of freaking out. You know, why is one of the, you know, GQ top 50 most influential men in Washington even contacting me, really? Like, I never thought he would, but now he's being weird and aggressive. So I say, what for? And we'll go to the next one. See, what for? And he says, call me and I will tell you. So I'm like, okay, what's your phone number? Now, at this point, I was really scared to call this guy because he's already got my Facebook. He knows where I live. Now he's going to have my phone number. So I'm really scared. So he sends me his phone number, says, call me now. You have 10 seconds. And he starts this countdown. Now in my head, I'm like, oh my God, should I like get some recording software for my phone? I didn't know what to do. And he did this, which of course made me go ahead and call. So the last thing he said was the last chance, and at this point I went ahead and called. And I had a buddy next to me, by the way, when he called, but I didn't get a chance to record it, which I, wish I could have, but it's not there. But what he said was, he just started yelling at me like almost immediately. I called, he said, Ryan, and yeah, and he's like went into me, but he basically said he was gonna kill me, kill my mom, kill my girlfriend, and kill my son. He's gonna sue me. He's gonna send me to prison. All these things. The call lasted about 3 minutes, but it was literally him for 2 minutes berating me. And then I kind of like, I don't know. I didn't know what to do in that situation, but I was kind of like, yeah, I wasn't trying to hurt anybody, I was on the defense, So I was like, look, man, I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm just trying to, this is like a hobby to me. Like when I have spare time, this is what I look into. But basically the dude just went off on me. And then he told me I had to delete my video or I would die. And my mom would die, my girlfriend would die, my son would die. And then he would sue me, my dead body. So at that point I was pretty scared. And I was like, all right, I'll delete the video. It's not worth it for my mom to die or anything like that. So I was super scared, and that's why I deleted the video. So we hung up the phone, and then he started texting me on my cell phone. So I saved all those messages, and I'm going to show those to y'all now. So these are the text messages from when we got off of our phone call. When we left the phone call, I had told him that I was going to delete the video. And the first thing he texted me back was just the Pegasus shit. Figure out how to do it, no waves. So what he meant by that is like he doesn't want people thinking there's any fishy reason that the video got deleted. So he wanted me to figure out a way to get rid of it without causing any more questions. And then he sent me a picture of me and my mom. Which was obviously, he's trying to threaten me, saying I have pictures of your mom, things like that. And then he says, thanks, feel okay? I said, not really, you just threatened to kill everybody. He said, no need for all that. And then I said, I deleted the video. And he said, good, blame YouTube. And then I said, delete the thread on vote 2. I was just asking him. Now, when he said blame YouTube, he meant this as a follow-up statement. Blame YouTube, they are taking things down. And then I said, delete the thread on vote 2. And he said, I think be more creative. Say you think it's nothing or something. It's your culture. So what he kept saying, like, it's your culture. When we were on the phone, we talked multiple times on the phone, but he kept saying it's your culture.
The Clintons and Podestas have quite the number of paedophilia-connected people in their close network. You often hear the argument that secrets involving this many people would be impossible to hide. If the allegations are even 50% true, however, sustaining total secrecy is actually quite plausible given the outlandish and almost cliché nature of the allegations, often makes them difficult to believe even in the presence of such compelling evidence. Also, more importantly, the players involved would have the ability to use blackmail to swiftly destroy anyone who stepped out of line. This point is supported by reports that Jeffrey Epstein had hidden cameras in his home, meant for exactly this purpose. So far, I've only recounted a chunk of the Pizzagate connections and coincidences involving paedophilia and child trafficking. You'll find if you check out the research for yourself that vastly more has been discovered than what has been summarized here. Even if the coincidences are this utterly bizarre or hard to definitively connect, when the sheer number of them defies statistical probability, we have an obligation to at least dig a little deeper, to see if clearer conclusions can be gleaned, especially when there are children involved. Cases have been tried on circumstantial evidence before, as long as there was enough of it and it deemed strong enough. If the old adage holds true that where there's smoke, there's fire, there seems to be a whole lot of smoke here. A smoke cloud so thick, in fact, that the discovery of fire doesn't feel too far off at all. Now guys, this next section comes with a warning, as it is very disturbing. This video was posted online and researchers have big questions as to whether this was leaked online because it was Podesta terrifying a child. It has not been verified as Podesta, but I will let you judge what you think with hearing this voice alongside Podesta's recorded voice as well. I will warn you, the following footage contains very disturbing sounds.
You think you're hot shit, don't you? You think you're hot... Listen up! What's my name? What's my name? My other name, what do you call me? I am your father! From now on, you will call me your father. Shut up! You will call me your father. What is my name, huh?
I'm just a kid who's 4. Each day I grow some more. I'm singing. Each day I grow some more. I'm something more. I'll say Daddy, finding my way. Growing up is not so tough. I had enough. There's a lot of fun stuff with
Don't you? You think you're hot shit, don't you? You will call me. You will call me. You will call me. Say again.
Just get lost. Just get lost. Just get lost. Just get lost.
You think you're hot shit, don't you? You think you're hot shit, don't you? Say again! Say again! You think you're hot shit, don't you?
Just get lost.
You think you're hot shit, don't you?
Just get lost.
You think you're hot shit, don't you?
Just get lost.
You think you're hot shit, don't you?
Just get lost.
What's my name? What's my name? My other name. What do you call me?
I hope you now understand the importance of Pizzagate and why it was such a huge scandal. The Democrats and the mainstream media ran with their Russia narrative to cover up the allegations of illegal activity after the leak of John Podesta's emails. Q is an abolitionist movement to end such mind slavery by a corrupt media industry. This cruel and illegal manipulation of the public by a mafia mockingbird media is now ending. Declassification of all the material related to Epstein, Pizzagate, Spygate, Russiagate, JFK, 9/11 and much more will mean there is no argument or escape from the truth. The social, psychological and spiritual impact on those who have been deceived by these lies is going to be severe and lasting. This is a war for credibility and legitimacy, with the battle now emerging from the shadows into the public eye. It doesn't really matter what you think of Trump, because this is not about politics as you've come to know it. There is a resistance in the United States right now, fighting the illegitimate deep state government. There has been a breathtaking level of criminality and corruption, global in scale, sickening in scope, generational in development. Essentially, our society has been hijacked by forces of evil, with government by organized crime cartels, using media tools of deception to pacify and manipulate the public. Those malevolent forces are now being uprooted, and justice is coming in an epic manner. What is happening now is absolutely unprecedented and will be spoken about for thousands of years to come. As Martin Geddes has wrote, the storm portends to the imminent collapse of trust in all mass media services and social media platforms. That is because they are implicated in systemic, widespread and long-standing organized crime that also encompasses much of our political and financial system. If this is unequivocally demonstrated to be so, then the public will unite in disgust at the media's treacherous betrayal of its journalistic duties. We are about to witness the unveiling of the deep state to the public. Q is a military intelligence team that is part of a global alliance. This is the second American Revolution, and what is about to happen in the United States will reverberate through the rest of the world as humanity becomes free for the very first time. It is time to clean up the mess created by the deep state and show future generations how we deal with such people. Durham the Bull is about to unseal indictments for some big names. As the American Declaration of Independence asserts, when there is such an iniquitous state of affairs, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government. We are in the midst of exactly such an event with worldwide consequences. I hope you are ready. Where we go one, we go all.
What truly matters is not which party controls our government, but whether our government is controlled by the people. For too long, a small group in our nation's capital, has reaped the rewards of government while the people have borne the cost. The establishment protected itself, but not the citizens of our country. That all changes starting right here and right now.
One thing, I don't know why, it doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind at the time this rhyme to explain it through time. All I know, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day. The clock takes life away. It's so unreal. Didn't look out below. Watch the time go right out the window. Trying to hold on, but you didn't even know what you're standing on just to watch you go. I count everything I saw, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard.
Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell for more must-see videos.